What's up, gamers? Dreamcast here, and today we're talking about PlayStation because there is a bunch of allegations and rumors that perhaps Sony lied to Microsoft and to gamers about an exclusivity agreement with Black Myth Wukong. Now, I want to break this down because this leak, this confirmation of a deal, has stirred up a surprising amount of controversy. A lot of Sony fans, a lot of Xbox people are straight up calling the journalist who leaked this a liar, saying it doesn't make sense. The whole thing is honestly a big mess, but I want to look into it because I do think this is bigger than we think. Let's discuss. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So, this tweet seems very innocuous. I saw it and just didn't even think about it. But the replies are straight up insane. People actually raging. But here what it is. It says, a source with knowledge of the situation has told me that Black Myth Wukong is currently not on Xbox because of an exclusivity deal and was not delayed because of any sort of technical issues. Now, this seems very chill. Seems like a very normal statement in general, but there is some funny business going on. There were leaks last week that apparently Black Myth Wukong is not on Xbox because they can't get it to run. There were a bunch of leaks and vague statements directly from the developer saying, we're optimizing it for the Xbox Series X and S. We're sorry we don't have a release date at this time. But people have been basically saying, okay, other developers have said this. Other people have chimed in and said that making games specifically for the Xbox Series S is tough, but people are saying, is this legit? Certain Xbox journalists have said this is a lie, the studio is lying, but part of the reason this exclusivity deal, if it actually exists, was a very good move by PlayStation is that right now, PlayStation 5 sales are really skyrocketing because of Black Myth Wukong. I mean, even I bought it specifically on PlayStation 5, even though obviously it would run better on PC. And a lot of people are saying that this is a bizarre deal, if true, because PlayStation was asked under oath during the big Activision Blizzard acquisition, during the whole FTC court case where Microsoft was trying to buy Call of Duty. Basically, Sony was trying to block it, and part of that case, there was an official part where, under oath, they said, okay, we'll talk about all of our exclusivity agreements, but you got to talk about your exclusivity agreements, and Sony did do that. They did list off the fact that they do have a bunch of exclusive deals with PlayStation, doing stuff with Final Fantasy and stuff like that, but Black Myth Wukong was not on that list. Maybe it was outdated, maybe they didn't have a deal at the time, but a lot of people are straight up saying this is fake. So the source is saying it had bad technical issues and a memory leak. They were wrong, but you, a singular Forbes journalist, are correct. Now, ever since this came out about 65 minutes ago, IGN, some other websites now have chimed in and said this is legit, that the deal is real, that really, as weird as it is, Game Science is lying about this. PlayStation isn't even advertising it that hard. Look at this. My source told me it's because of the Xbox Series S. A lot of people, I wanted to scroll down though to these tweets that are extremely mad. Sony sucks. Source, trust me, bro. I wanted to scroll down because some of these people are actually mad. And a lot of people are saying this sounds like bad console warrior clickbait. People are saying that Xbox YouTubers have been saying this now for weeks and weeks and weeks. But I wanted to look at this. Here we go. This sounds like a serious media outlet that's controlling what's employees disseminate. Wow. So he's basically saying, because this can call the credibility of the outlet itself into question. There are people that are basically saying that he should be fired. There are people actually saying that there is no way this is legit and Paul Tassi is actually spreading misinfo. But I wanted to look at this because the gaming leaks in Reddit, this Reddit has all sorts of stuff. As soon as information breaks, the gaming leaks and rumors Reddit really likes to pick it apart and discuss it. And they said, okay, so if they did this deal, Why didn't Sony market it? Clearly, it's ended up being a big success, but it doesn't seem like Sony, they didn't feature it in a bunch of state of plays or do a special showcase or anything. They basically just released it, and it happened to accidentally be the biggest game ever. But look at this. I find this hard to believe because A, it runs terrible on the PS5. I can't even imagine how bad it would run on the Xbox Series S. Sony didn't market it. Didn't the devs themselves say they needed to get the Xbox version up to a higher level of quality? So that is kind of the interesting wrinkle to this is, does that mean that Sony lied about the deal originally? Does that mean that Sony bought it and then just didn't advertise it? Does it mean that Game Science, the developers of the game, were trying to lie? Somewhere along the line, oh my God. Okay, we're going to pretend that didn't just fall over. My piece of soundproofing just fell over. It scared the hell out of me. Okay, sorry. Anyways, people are saying they don't believe this because it seems like a strange, very expensive move that happened to pay off. But this is the other thing. I love the game. I don't buy this for a second, but I love this far more. So what you're saying is that PlayStation will take 30% of every Xbox game and buy more exclusivity deals for PlayStation. I love you, PlayStation. So that is kind of the thing, is that if this is real, it essentially means that PlayStation is still trying to sign a bunch of exclusivity contracts. I think the biggest criticism that a lot of people have had this year, myself included, is the fact that Sony isn't releasing enough first-party games. I mean, they're doing licensed stuff like Helldivers 2 was an exclusive, but it wasn't really made by a Sony studio. So if they keep doing this, if Sony keeps funding development and buying exclusivity contracts, even if it is for stuff like Final Fantasy Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16 and stuff like that, it's clearly selling systems for cheaper, I guess, than the upfront cost of making your own IP. And I like this take by Sean right here. He said, let's say this was the case, even though I do have my doubts. Who cares? When did exclusives become such a taboo and a bad thing in gaming? I'm buying that stupid MetaQuest 3 just to play that Batman Arkham VR because it's exclusive. Yeah. I find this whole discourse interesting because of the anger more than anything else, where I like playing on PlayStation. I literally have my PS5 booted up right here to play Diablo right freaking now as soon as I'm done with this video. But when other games go to other platforms, it doesn't really affect me. I think I'm fascinated by the defensive nature of PlayStation fans, where it's not just enough that the success is so overwhelming. They want to make sure that the walls are up, that everything is legitimately earned. I want to end this off with a tweet from Mooch. I love this guy, been on his podcast a bunch of times, very nice dude. And he said like this: so every game that PlayStation has ever pursued a deal with for a timed exclusive since I can remember, they would yell about it from the rooftops so that they would know that it was coming to PlayStation first. But with Black Myth Wukong, they paid extra money to get the exclusivity deal, but decided to keep it quiet. And then it's the old Cole Phelps doubt meme. I think that this is an interesting thing because in my experience, Paul Tassi is very, very legit. This guy is an actual journalist. He is one of the main dudes over at Forbes when it comes to the gaming aspect. If he lied, he'd get fired. He'd lose an incredibly cushy job. I don't know if you've ever watched this guy's YouTube videos, but he clearly has a good house and a wife and freaking kids and a little cute corgi and stuff like that. This dude probably cares a lot more about continuing to get a paycheck than monetizing one tweet. So if he says this, I'm inclined to believe him, which means a lot of the Xbox YouTubers who have been screaming that something is a foul, they were correct. Those dudes who said that something is fishy about this, the statements of saying, oh, we're not quite getting up to snuff, we're still working on it, this stuff turned out to be a bit of a misdirect. But what do you guys think about it? Are you excited about whenever Black Myth Wukong actually comes out on Xbox? Or at this point, do you even care? I love the game. It completely blew my mind. It's still one of the biggest games on the planet, which is so bizarre to think about. But I am excited to see what comes next from that studio for sure, and what comes next to PlayStation after Astrobot. Thank you for watching. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. By the way, I'm going to link it out at the end of the video here, but I did a big video this morning talking about the leaks for the PlayStation 5 Pro, because it seems like we know the price and the release date, and it's not exactly what I would have wanted personally, but go watch that. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.